also like there's a lot of good music out there.
Yeah, yeah.
But like hopefully, because look, I'm no whiz on guitar, and vocals are still something that I'm developing. But like I said, for me, the important thing about it is more about what's the message going to be, and what are we doing to sort of, like, is there a way that we can connect together, myself and the audience, through songwriting, which is sharing different ideas and experiences, and also, in a way, you kind of, in the bigger scheme of things, trying to look at ways that we can better ourselves
Mm,
as humanity as well.
yeah. Now your songs, you've got an incredible style like this 1970s, 80s kind of rock, like, and then there's like these grunge white stripes, and then these like, yeah, amazingly delicate vocals that kind of float in over the top. Um, like, what does it mean to be an original artist to you? Like, why did you choose original music? Like, you could have, there's 1,000 gigs out there for cover artists. Yeah, what's the driver for you there?
I think yeah, pretty much coming back to what I love about art. And I think it's the ability. So, when I was at school, I did some TER, and that was kind of a passion of mine. I did do music as well, but there wasn't really much of a program where I was. So art's probably the door that I've entered, and I like that because it's given me the opportunity to think about what it's like, what it is that I want to communicate to the audience, and the way that art affects you. Sometimes you look at a picture. Well, to me personally, when I look at visual art, I'm not generally drawn. I really highly respect people who can do realistic paintings, drawings, whatever it is. I think the skill there and the discipline there is incredible. But the stuff that affects me, the stuff that I leave and go, wow, like the stuff that you keep thinking about, it's not always the pretty stuff. Sometimes it's really rough. Sometimes it's a little bit even, aggressive, or it's kind of got elements in it that feel a bit dark. And sometimes it's really light, but it's the way that it's painted, with its being impressionism or something like that, makes you think about the way that they've taken that environment and what they wanted to reflect to you as well, like the contours of nature or something. So I think for me, expression and coming into music with the intention to express different ideas, and those ideas being important, because I think this is where conversation happens. This is, to me, the problem. I'm just going to put Teddy down because
You're right.
he's making my leg go to sleep. Go down, Teddy. I think this is the important thing with original music. It gives you the opportunity to, you can have you're going to start to have a conversation, and all of the artists, you say 1970s, all of the artists that like a lot of them from that era, they're writing about things that they were social issues, or they were things that people wouldn't talk about or found it difficult to talk about.
Yeah.
Those are the things that music has had, social issues and music kind of go hand in hand with art. And I think it's when you start to crack that open and it becomes a song that people know and support or something like that, it's giving the opportunity to have those conversations, even if they are difficult. So for me, that's a really important starting ground for original music, because that's my intention. My intention is to start to crack open these things that we don't want to talk about, and sort of take it so that we can, but also, like, how are we going to evolve? How are we going to evolve as not just a community, but as a species? Because I think we can all appreciate there's so much stuff just going on in the world. It's crazy, but
Yeah.
we need to not kind of let that be something that washes us with anxiety, or kind of makes us go into this kind of hyperactive sort of like constant doing and doing and doing. But how are we going to use our brains? We're incredible. We have the ability to rise above this stuff. We just need to kind of come together. And I think the basis of original music is that it challenges these ideas, and it can create movements. And so that's something that's so important, because If it's what you've heard before, you're never going to evolve. If it's
Yeah,
something,
yeah, yeah.
a cover song from, which has been in past, that was relevant to that time. And sometimes it's still relevant to today. But if you haven't heard anything new and it's not, connecting in with, I guess, current social events or whatever's happening at that time and that place, you're not giving the opportunity for people to start to, as a culture, evolve. And I think that's the dark side to cover music. I think it's a little bit like it's limiting. It's even I was talking about it with Shane, like just most don't want to sound like an ageist or whatever, but there's kind of that demographic of maybe young adults who are growing up with streaming, like that's kind of their that's coming in their generation, because that's not my generation. And it's sort of like you look at the playlist and it'll go from like Johnny Cash to, I don't know, Tina Turner, and then like Taylor Swift. Like it's just like it's all over the place, but there's no kind of like coherent flow or um I don't know, like that's the whole point of an album, right? That's the whole point, is to take the person on a journey. And I think when we're so scattered like that and we just keep listening to stuff that's already happened, we're not able to evolve like
Mm.
and I think music for me, that's the point, that's what the point is for me, because I want to be able to start to challenge those ideas so that we can start to come together as a culture, but also evolve as a culture, because so many people feel so stuck.
Thank you so much, Beth. I've loved hearing your insights and chatting with you. Yeah, it's been great to watch you. I can't wait to see what the rest of 2025 brings for you. Yeah, really appreciate your time and thanks for chatting.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me on.